Were you there earlier today?
Yeah, the scrum.
His legs. I mean, the legs on this guy are just crazy.
Two things can be true at the same time. Henry Cejudo had a very important victory over TJ Dillashaw Saturday night at the Barclays Center, and the referees stopped the action just a bit early. To be clear, there was nothing lucky or fluky about Cejudo's win. He moved forward, he threw heavy hands, and he refused to take a backward step. In short, Henry stepped up aggressively and TJ wasn't ready. People often ask how much the mental side of things plays a role once the cage door is locked. Our good friend Ariel Helwani interviewed both guys on Monday. Cejudo explains the importance of reading TJ's body language.
Body's like a card game. You know, your opponent's expressions, his face will tell all. And I think that's exactly what happened when I caught him with that first body kick. I knew I hurt him with that first body kick too. It was a body kick right hand. I think I surprised him.
Absolutely. Dillashaw admits as much.
That actually did kind of surprise me, you know, that he came out, because he doesn't fight that way. And kudos to him. Yeah, he came out a little more aggressive, actually a lot more aggressive. He usually has that karate stance where to back up and run away and scared to engage, but he came out guns a-blazing, threw that right kick, and he did land a right hand right at the beginning too, you know.
Listen to TJ here.
I overthrew a right hand. He usually backs up, and he didn't, and showed me the ground and blocked his kick on the way up, and then that glancing shot to the back of the head just took the legs out for a second. But yeah, man.
Because he expected Henry to throw a shot and then leave the pocket, TJ left himself open to the counter after missing a big right hand. The lesson to take away from this is we usually see only what we expect to see. TJ didn't expect Cejudo to return fire from the pocket, so he didn't really see it when he did. And as everyone knows, it's the ones we don't see that do the most damage. Hello, I'm Cavassier the goddamn Newt. The UFC ESPN era has begun, and things got off to a strange start. TJ Dillashaw and Henry Cejudo were a tremendous matchup as the first headliners. Top to bottom, the card was damn good. The crazy kicked in hot and heavy, beginning with the presser.
We've only just begun to live.
On the right side of the stage, the cast of the Dallas Buyers Club.
Hey!
Idiot! I've been looking for you, Lone Star.
The left side, some kind of Los Lobos tribute/wedding band. Susie Stormborn says, I just watched the press conference. The Snake Gag was so cringeworthy. What's your take on it? I think Henry is trying too hard. Yeah, Cejudo is trying too hard, no doubt. And I'm with you that it raises some red flags, especially with TJ looking all badass, like a prime Karen Carpenter. Before we jump to conclusions, let's consider where Henry Cejudo is coming from. He's actually come a long way in a short period of time. It wasn't that long ago Henry was a bland interview. He presented a low-grade axiomatic humility and recited banal homilies like, I'm just gonna control what I can control. When Cejudo first came on the scene, he was his most authentic self, kind of a shy guy who took too much of his personality from those around him. In wrestling culture, everyone is humble. If you stand out, you get pounded down. The wrestling mentality is an admission that nobody's better than the grind, and the grind will always humble you. I remember Chael Sonnen pushing Cejudo to learn that if he wanted the rematch from Mighty Mouse, he would need to develop his personality and be willing to be the guy in the black hat, because the role of the good guy without much personality was already taken by Demetrius Johnson.
Henry Cejudo makes me so mad. I really like Henry Cejudo. I would go as far as to tell you I admire Henry Cejudo. The other side of it, his messaging is so incredibly off that it is frustrating for me to watch.
For the most part, I agree with Chael. You don't need to be over the top with trash talk, but you can't expect people to watch if you don't give them a reason to care. Therefore, you must take risks and put yourself out there. Every story has its heroes and villains or anti-heroes. This is even true for video games, which is ironic because Mighty Mouse was the best 125-pounder in the world, but acted like an NPC, a non-player character whenever the cameras were on him.
You know, the whole thing with Cody, I'm not really worried about it, dude. Like, if somebody comes, I've never told anybody down to come to my weight class, right? Like, I have nothing but love for the guy, but at the same time, he just won a belt. You know, he just won a belt. I've defended it 10 times. I've been in the sport longer than he has.
The flyweight division is on the brink of being shut down, in part because the previous champ avoided conflict and taking risk. So I'm just humbled to be here. Milquetoast persona isn't gonna help anyone or save the flyweight division. Much of what comes out of Cejudo's mouth at this point is forced, but that doesn't mean it's completely inauthentic.
And the reason why I'm in GOAT, I don't know if you guys noticed. Was that your next question?
We were gonna ask. You had to.
You guys like the snake imprinted jeans? Get up on that chair. It was actually Ali's actually the one that dressed. What do you think, Dana? And you guys are talking stuff.
You look like you're going to host a game show.
Henry's main problem is taking advice on how to handle social interactions from his manager. Ali Abdelaziz is the king of questionable behavior.
When a cockroach you see in the street, you do two things. You step on him and crush him, or you just kick away and ignore. And the way, like, I'm not gonna worry about anybody, you know. I'm very proud. I can tell you this. I'm very proud of everything I did in my past, you know. And
his fashion sense, it doesn't get much worse. Sheesh. The snake gimmick shows no creativity and zero psychological understanding.
There's a little snake in the grass right there.
What's up,
hey, little boy.
How we going?
Are you lost?
Definitely lost.
Where's your mommy, little boy? Uriah thinks Dwayne's a snake, though. What do you think of that?
Different opinions, you know. No, I'm still there.
No, you ain't still there.
All right.
You ain't still there. You pretend you're still there. But you ain't still there. He eats with Dwayne. And what did I tell you? Eats with him, he's the enemy, that's it.
Supposedly, Ali doesn't like the Irish fellow, but it's painfully obvious he follows his every move. What Ali doesn't understand is TJ incorporated the snake narrative into his persona. McGregor put the negative aspects of being a snake on TJ, and they stuck to him. But by accepting and incorporating the snake, TJ was able to reshape the attributes to be more representative. Like the fact that venomous snakes are among the most deadly predators. Pretty much nobody messes with them. Dillashaw incorporated snake imagery into his tattoos and workout gear, among other things, which shows he's able to psychologically adapt to the reality he finds himself in, rather than insisting that reality needs to shape itself around his beliefs. Yeah, all the snake whipping business is super cringy. But worse for Henry, it's playing into Dillashaw's hand, because he's already dealt with it, and he's not bothered.
This is the strongest Henry Cejudo's ever felt. If you're asking if Henry Cejudo's ready, I'm extremely ready. I'm going to. Actually,
myself in the third person.
Actually, you know what? Since you brought it,
talking in the third person is pretty much always the worst.
There's a big inspiration in me when I'm inspired and I'm.
Cejudo stumbles once he realizes that talking about being humble and selfless while talking in third person would undermine his point just a little bit.
There's a big inspiration in me when I'm in.
Still, it's way better to have a personality and stumble along the way than this. When you put the focus on people who actively refuse to personally engage with the moment, it sucks the energy from the room, every time, and it limits the ability of would-be fans to engage or care.
I'm doing this, TJ, I'm not doing it just for me, man. I'm doing it for everybody. I'm doing it for all the 125.
And that's your problem. I'm doing this for myself. This is a selfish sport. I'm going out there and I'm winning for myself. I'm gonna be the greatest.
TJ is an individual. He differentiates himself by admitting he's selfish. It's an important admission for him. Others in the UFC could benefit from adopting more of that perspective. You'll never achieve things you're afraid to admit you're trying to achieve. Not many people were giving Cejudo much of a chance to beat Dillashaw. Personally, I rank TJ in the top 5 pound for pound. That being said, Cejudo is a competitive monster. The way he keeps upping his game, we don't know how good the Henry who faces TJ will even be. Now that his training has reached a level to match his heart and mental toughness, it's hard to discount his chances.
I've been using science all over. I mean, science has been in the center with Neuroforce 1 has been the center of my camp.
I'm happy for my man here, but word to the wise. Keep your goddamn science away from John Jones, or UFC 235 will have to be moved below decks on a ship in international waters with Jeff Nowitzki as commissioner. Hopefully they'll bring in the no-nonsense Keith Peterson. He's the best in the business and probably the only one able to keep the Somali pirates in line. Well, that's what I see. Despite their shortcomings, I salute TJ Dillashaw and Henry Cejudo. There's nothing more authentic than putting your best effort forward and refusing to be psychologically fragile. If you want to take part, be sure to subscribe. Leave your questions and suggestions in the comment section below or over on the Twitters. Remember, this isn't supposed to be easy.
You're out of luck. I'm rolling down the stairs too drunk to.
Why not just?
You can make anything out of anything if you want to.
Why?
Were you there earlier today?
Why not just?
I haven't heard anything.
Why not just?
Legs on this guy. It's been crazy.
Come out and say it.
Unfortunately, I've had some science stuff happen to me.